Welcome to WhatIfVerse, where curiosity meets the impossible. Today, we ask a question that could change everything about how we live, work, and connect. What if the internet disappeared tomorrow? No warnings, no countdown, no server not found message. Just gone. One moment, billions of devices humming in unison, sharing cat videos, bank transactions, and rocket telemetry. The next, silence. At first, you'd think it's a glitch. You'd refresh the page, restart the router, turn your phone off and back on. Maybe you'd even shout at your Wi-Fi box like it owes you an explanation. But after a few minutes, you'd realize something's off. No websites load. No emails come through. No messages send. The little spinning circle on your screen just keeps spinning endlessly. You'd reach for your phone to check Twitter, Reddit, or the news, except they're gone too. You try calling a friend to see if they're having the same problem. The call doesn't connect. Then, a strange collective realization begins to ripple across the planet. The internet isn't just down, it's gone. In the first few hours, panic wouldn't hit yet. Most people would assume it's temporary, a massive outage, maybe caused by hackers, solar flares, or a rogue engineer who tripped over a cable somewhere in Silicon Valley. But as time passes and the blackout continues, fear would spread. The internet isn't just a luxury. It's the bloodstream of civilization. It's how money moves, how food travels, how power grids balance their load. The moment it's gone, the modern world starts to unravel. Let's walk through the first day. Planes are midair, relying on radar and satellite navigation. Without the internet, communication between control towers becomes patchy. Pilots revert to old-school radio methods, circling airports until given permission to land manually. Some succeed, others don't. Ports lose container tracking systems. Trucks stop at borders, unable to verify digital manifests. Supply chains freeze within hours. Banks are among the first to feel it. ATMs can't verify transactions. Credit cards stop working. Online banking, gone. Stocks and global markets vanish into chaos. Trillions of dollars disappear into the void. The economy, built on code and connection, grinds to a halt. Within 24 hours, stores can't reorder supplies. Fuel pumps, which rely on networked systems, shut down. Hospitals lose access to cloud-stored medical records. Doctors scramble to treat patients with no history, no prescriptions, no access to databases. Emergency services struggle to coordinate. DPS, email, digital communication, all dead. And yet, for a strange, brief moment, the world grows eerily quiet. No notifications, no streaming, no news feed screaming for attention. Just silence, the sound of the analog world, humming softly in the background. For some, it's terrifying. For others, peaceful. By day 2, confusion turns to chaos. Most people can't withdraw money. Factories stop producing. Supermarkets run out of essentials. Without internet-based logistics, deliveries stop. Governments scramble to respond. But even internal communication collapses. Satellites orbit silently, blind and uncoordinated. The invisible net that once held the planet together begins to tear apart. And while civilization shakes, human behavior starts to shift. For the first time in decades, people are forced to look up from their screens to talk to ask, to reconnect in ways that don't involve Wi-Fi signals or social media handles. Neighbors who never exchanged a word now share food and news. Communities slowly reform out of necessity. But let's not sugarcoat it. Things would get ugly fast. Our dependence on connectivity runs deep. Farms use internet sensors to monitor irrigation. Cities rely on online data to manage traffic, energy, and water. Without it, waste overflows, lights flicker, and power grids destabilize. And then there's communication. Within days, global connections vanish entirely. The planet feels suddenly vast again. A message from New York to Tokyo could take weeks, not milliseconds. The human race becomes a patchwork of isolated societies. But after the collapse comes adaptation. Within weeks, engineers, scientists, and radio hobbyists begin rebuilding. Old technologies make a comeback: ham radios, fax machines, shortwave transmitters. Offline intranets appear in local areas. Neighborhood servers connect small networks, little digital islands in an ocean of silence. People start printing newspapers again. Public bulletin boards become information hubs. Libraries return to their former glory, packed, alive, full of people hungry for knowledge. Students return to classrooms. Teachers dust off chalkboards. Learning slows but becomes tangible again. Art, too, begins to change. Without algorithms dictating trends, creativity flourishes unpredictably. Music scenes grow locally again, different sounds in every city. Books are traded by hand. Painters fill walls with color. Storytellers travel from town to town. The human voice, once digitized and compressed into data packets, becomes sacred again. But let's be honest, the economic cost is unimaginable. Online businesses vanish overnight. Tech companies collapse. Billions lose jobs. Data stored in the cloud, photos, memories, research, art, disappears forever. The internet is humanity's collective brain. When it goes, part of our shared memory goes with it. And yet, out of the ashes, humanity might rediscover something we've long lost: patience. Remember when you had to wait for a letter to arrive? Or when you spent a Saturday afternoon doing nothing but thinking? The internet killed waiting. Everything became instant: music, news, dopamine. Without it, life regains its natural rhythm. The days feel longer but richer. Meals last hours. People talk without glancing at screens. The night sky looks brighter now that billions of glowing rectangles have gone dark. Children learn to be bored, and in boredom, imagination grows. Governments would adapt, too. New communication systems would emerge, decentralized, analog, slower, but resilient. Nations might become more self-reliant, rebuilding local industries and networks. Some authoritarian regimes would see opportunity in the silence, tightening control. Others would fall, unable to manage the chaos. Power would shift dramatically in the post-internet world. Over years, humanity would stabilize. Cities smaller, communities stronger. Innovation would continue not online, but in workshops, universities, and local labs. Science wouldn't die. It would slow, then deepen. Without the constant pressure of online noise, research might become more deliberate, more careful. The race for the next big thing would give way to a slower pursuit of understanding. Culturally, something incredible might happen. The internet connected us, but it also homogenized us. Music, language, style, they all blended into one global soup. Without it, diversity blooms again. 1,000 cultures rediscover their voice. Folk songs return. Local traditions thrive. The world becomes smaller, yes, but also infinitely more colorful. Environmentally, the impact is surprisingly positive. The power-hungry data centers that once devoured electricity are silent. Carbon emissions dip. The planet breathes a little easier. The quiet hum of technology fades, replaced by the rhythm of wind, waves, and wildlife reclaiming space once filled with constant human noise. But there's a darker side. Without the internet, scientific collaboration collapses. Medical research slows. We lose the ability to respond quickly to global crises. Weather forecasting becomes less precise. Space exploration nearly stops. The internet wasn't just entertainment, it was humanity's collective nervous system for knowledge. Losing it means losing speed, efficiency, and coordination. Still, humans adapt. We always do. In the long term, the world finds balance again. Maybe someone, somewhere begins to rebuild the digital web, slower, smaller, smarter. A new internet, perhaps one that values privacy, truth and connection over speed and profit. One built by people who remember what it felt like to lose everything, and what it felt like to finally look each other in the eyes again. And maybe that's the paradox. The disappearance of the internet might break us, but it might also heal us. It would destroy economies, divide nations, and silence billions, but it would also remind us that connection doesn't need cables, servers, or screens. It lives in stories, gestures, voices, laughter. It lives in us. So, what do you think? If the internet disappeared tomorrow, would humanity collapse into chaos or rise into a simpler, wiser age? Would we rebuild the same digital empire or create something entirely new? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this journey through the WhatIfVerse, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications because every day we explore a new question that challenges the limits of what we think is possible. In the WhatIfVerse, every what if is just the beginning.